Hello my dears, and welcome to the dining room table, where today I'm going to be creating a fresh floral centerpiece for the Thanksgiving November tea party I'm going to be hosting this coming up Saturday. And as usual, I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to be using to make this centerpiece, and then we're going to make it, or I'm going to make it, and hopefully you'll watch and get a kick out of it. Anyway, okay, so we have these really beautiful flowers that Mom and I got from Albertsons yesterday. I have, there's roses and Gerber daisies and lilies and mums and carnations, and I can't remember what these little orange flowers are called, but I'll figure it out and maybe put it in the description. Then I went out in my yard, and because there's not a lot of greenery in here, I got some greens from the arborvitae and then some Oregon grape, which I know that looks like holly, but I think it will be a pretty addition to this arrangement. And then I went and precariously perched on a step stool, hoping that I didn't fall down and embarrass myself in front of the whole neighborhood. Got some branches from our river birch that's out in the front yard. I thought those would be fun just to stick in there somewhere. Then, because it is Thanksgiving, the theme for the arrangement is a cornucopia, and I have this lovely grapevine one, and I don't know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of flowers. If they're a lot and I have a lot left over, I'm also going to make a mini one, which I won't do on camera, but I wanted to show you the different kinds of cornucopias that you can make a fresh floral arrangement in. And also this giant one up here that I made at the beginning, October 31st, that's a giant one. So there's all different sizes of cornucopias. You can make all different sizes of arrangements and it'll be beautiful. So got those, and then of course I have my Florist foam. That is a wet foam that soaks up water. It's been soaking for about an hour because I had to charge one of my phones so it could record for me. So that's been charging for quite a while. And then I have my serrated knife to cut the foam, scissors, my wire clippers, the right ones that actually work so that I can cut through heavy stems if I have them. Florist tape, that is for taping the florist foam into my little plastic container. Now, when I used to work at a floral wholesale distributor, we had a bunch of, what we had for sale for the florist was these little plastic containers that were much thinner than this, that you would put the wet florist foam in so that it didn't leak out of the whatever you were doing the arrangement in. This is actually a leftover food container that I just cut down, and it fits perfectly. So I have my tape from Hobby Lobby that I'm going to tape over the foam to keep it in the little tiny tray that will collect the water. I do have wire because there are some roses in here that I want to support so that they don't flop over. And then a cutting board. I think that's it. Oh, and I do have my trash can here. So, all right, I am going to start by sectioning off all of these flowers so I know what I have. And yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so now I'm going to probably take this out of here first so that I have a stable surface with which to attach this and get it all ready. Ah! cut a little bit off the top. Yep, I think that'll work just fine. And now I'm going to use the tape. You can also use just regular Scotch tape. I don't like regular Scotch tape because of how wide it is. Okay, now I've got to find the, here we go. And just take it over the top and attach it to the sides. I like to do this, whoops, hello, just because it keeps everything nice and tidy and will keep things from falling out if, you know, it gets bumped or you're carrying it to a family member's house or giving it away as a gift. It just is nice to keep everything nice and tidy. Keep it from falling apart or out. I'm just going to do a cross section or a cross hatch or something. It's going to look like plaid when we get done with it. All right, and here's how it looks. Let me just make sure that that's not, there we go. Sometimes when I show it up close on the side, it gets a little blurry. Now, what I would do if I was taking this to someone's house or giving it as a gift, I would get some, I want to call it putty, but I don't think it's putty. It's kind of like silly putty that florists do use to stick down on the item that you are doing the arrangement in so that the container sticks to it and doesn't slide around. But because this is staying at my house, I'm just going to leave it right in here. Although what I could do, I think I might do, because actually Mom's taking it home when the tea party's over, is because this is grapevine, it has these holes in it. So what I might do just to keep it secure is fish, yep, that's gonna work. Fish some wire and then just take it over. Yes. Maybe it'll work. Hold on. Okay, that's actually going to work well. So it does have a little bit of give there, but I think that's going to be good for just securing the florist foam onto the cornucopia. And if you've watched me before, you know that I like to get started with a base of greenery to build the beautiful flowers onto. And just going to start putting it in. Also, what I like to do is with the base of the greenery is it hides the edges. Especially, you know, this is higher up. This is taller than the edge of the cornucopia, and I don't want this being seen. That is not attractive. So I'm just gonna cover that with the greenery, with the Oregon grape. And I love the Oregon grape in my yard. My mother-in-law comes over and gardens. She lives in an apartment and she loves to garden, and she doesn't have anywhere to garden, so she likes to come to our house and do what she calls gardening, just you know, weeding and trimming stuff. And I told her, do not touch the Oregon grape. I'm going to be using that in the future, and here I am using it in the future. Ooh, ow, that is prickly. Okay, now it's time for the arborvitae. Just looks like pine, super pretty. Just gonna Then I have some of this lovely, I want to say silex, but I'm not sure that that's what the name of this is. And I am going to use that just to add some more greenery, just a different texture. All different textures are nice to have in a floral arrangement, which is why it's fun to have an evergreen plant in your yard, just for that extra texture, so things don't look boring. Okay, so here we have all of the grid down, or the greenery down. And what I can do is, if this turns out to be way too much greenery and just doesn't look good, I can simply take it out, because I can, and it's mine. But what I did want to say is, this is going to be in the middle of the table, and so it needs to be pretty all the way around. Now, up here on this, there is a back and a front, and because the wall is the only thing that's going to see the back up there, it's okay for it to not be pretty. But this is not going to have a front or a back. This is going to be all around 360 degrees. So I need to concentrate on making it pretty. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and I might or might not use the river birch twigs that I risked life and limb to get, but we'll see. Okay, I want to start off by putting the big flower in the center, not really the centerpiece, but it is going to be a focal point when this opens. Now, what I want to show you, what I like to do, is you can see in here, I think they're called stamens. That's the part of the flower that has the pollen on it. And when they're barely open like this, I like to go in and take those stamens out, because when they open, they have yellow, or some lilies have yellow, some have orange, like this one's an orange, and that pollen gets everywhere. And so I like to take it off so that it doesn't get on a tablecloth or your clothing, or it smudges on the flower and it's not very attractive. So I like to take those off. And I think I'm going to put this lily right there. Okay, yep. And then I'm just going to work all the way around. I do want to prep my roses. Again, some people don't wire roses. I like to wire roses because the head of the rose is so heavy that a lot of times when you know, the arrangement is a couple days old, or the bouquet is a couple days old, and the flower is starting to, what I call, wear out, the stem cannot support, or doesn't enjoy supporting the head of the rose. And so I like to wire it, and this keeps them upright. It also, now I got to be very careful in doing this. I've broken off way more than I would like to admit to rose heads. You can very gently use the wire to help shape the stem of the rose. Very gently. Especially if you have a very limited amount of roses. Oh, say for a wedding. Oh, also, what wiring roses helps to do, and I learned this a very, very, very hard way, is it keeps them from popping off the stem. Like when you're pinning a boutonniere onto a groom or a groomsman and the rose head just pops off. That is not something you want to do. I promise you, don't do it. It's horrifying. So wiring those roses and sometimes even using florist tape to tape it, very good idea. Okay, I think I want to use all the big flowers. These little spider mums, these large spider mums are so very fun. I like how chaotic they look. It kind of reminds me of my brain sometimes, or my hair, like today, it's a little chaotic. Okay, let's see, maybe the roses next. I think I want one of the roses sticking out here. Okay, I don't think I'm going to have enough left over to make another one, but that's just fine. This is very interesting how that grew. Now, this is a spray rose, and I don't generally wire spray roses unless I am taking each individual stem and putting them into a corsage or boutonniere. Just because I don't. You can if you want to, though. It's, you know. And I just bent one. Darn it. Okay, there we go. Okay, and one thing I do that's very good to do is when you cut your flowers, cut them on the diagonal, because that gives you a sharp tip to help insert into the foam. And I was told by a florist a long time ago this makes it easier for the stem to accept water. I don't know if that's true. That's just what he told me. So that's what I do. And this sad thing, I don't know if this is going to live. So I'm just going to put it down at the bottom, maybe on this side. You know, don't think I'm going to use it. I might put it just in a little tiny dish. So sad. I do love florist foam. Okay, I like these. These are miniature carnations. And then these little carnations that I cut off on the side, just use them to fill in wherever you need a little extra touch of carnation. You can use them singly or clustered to make it look like they're on one branch or stem. Oh, that is looking lovely. Okay, now I think we have a lot of these mums, so I think these are called button mums, not sure. Very lovely. Right, going to go in with this lovely, I think this is goldenrod, not quite sure. Again, I will find out and let you know. And then, because I have all of these that I took off, I'm going to just kind of cluster them together and have them act like one of the full heads of that. Okay, now I'm going to take a break from these and get these in there. I want to call them saffron, but I know that's not it because saffron comes from saffron crocuses. So I'm going to put these in all over and then take a break and kind of fiddle with everything, and I'll get back to ya. Okay. Okay, so I have all of these cute little bits in there. fun texture with just a little bit of color right there. Okay, I'm going to go fiddle with it and get it done, and then I'll do a reveal. Be right back. Okay, well, here it is, all complete, and I am actually quite pleased with it. I decided to not go with the branches of the river birch because I remembered that I had these oat sprigs that were left over from the large cornucopia on the tea cabinet, and so I just stuck those in hither and yon, and I think it adds a better touch than the river birch sprigs would have. But all in all, I think it looks really amazing, and I cannot wait for Saturday's Thanksgiving tea party. All right, you guys, hope you have a splendid rest of your week, and I'll chat with you later. Toodaloo!